You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, baby, we change gears quickly here on Locked On Sports Detroit. It's now time for a live Locked On Tigers postcast. And what a ride the gritty Tigers. You just couldn't handle the way that game was, just up and down, just a whirlwind of emotion. The Orioles tie it in the ninth. Trey Sweeney saves the game in the ninth, and the Tigers go win it in the 10th. That's what September baseball is all about. And I couldn't be more fired up to be with you on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Jake_Riepma. And as always, we thank you for making Locked On Tigers postcast your post-game destination. And look, we appreciate everybody bearing with us. We got Locked On Wolverines postcast. Michigan scoring a game-winning touchdown. The Tigers are winning in extra innings. I feel like Brick on Anchorman. Loud noises. I don't know what we're yelling about, but I'm not going to yell the whole episode, but I am going to soak it all in. What a win for the Tigers, and now a chance to get that series win. But as always, like I mentioned, this is a live Locked On Tigers postcast. We appreciate you making us your first listen post-game and your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, on YouTube, it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. Now, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. That's right. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com to get started. And if you caught the date, that's September 22nd, which is tomorrow. So hurry up, you're running out of time. But Tigers get the win in extras. They gagged it away, then they took it back, and it was just a whole lot of emotion. Like I said, I feel like we just, in the last, if you're a Michigan Wolverines fan and you're a Detroit Tigers fan, it was all coming down to the wire at the same time, and you're biting your fingernails, you're just beside yourself. The anxiety is at an all-time high, but all is well that ends well. And what a day. It ends well for the University of Michigan and ends well for the Detroit Tigers, who, with the Twins game getting postponed, they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. You got to believe that bodes well for the Tigers. You just feel like, and maybe, the Red Sox have to find a way to win at least one of those games. If they get a sweep, that'd be great. But the Tigers can get a series win tomorrow. And what do we say entering this series? You just got to figure out a way to win 2 out of 3, and then let's go take care of business at home. Of the off day on Monday before welcoming in the Tampa Rays and then closing it out with the Chicago White Sox. You got to feel good about the chances of it. And this is, and I say this not as a crazy person and not as someone who doesn't understand baseball, because I hope if you've been with us on Locked On Tigers all season, Locked On Tigers postcast, I am a crazy person, so that's fine. But 5-1 just feels so doable in those final 6 games. But the Rays are no slouch. The White Sox are an embarrassment. If you can figure out a way to get 2 out of 3 against the Rays, but business to take care of tomorrow, and a sweep would, in fact, I should have started it this way. A sweep, or even losing 2 out of 3 and losing today's game would have been catastrophic. And even though the Twins were idle, it would have felt like, especially having a 4-2 lead and letting that get away, it would have felt like the sky was falling, and or maybe you're at the point where, hey, we've got some great September baseball from this Tigers team. They gave us a run, but it was fun while it lasted type of thing. But not so fast, my friends. The Tigers find a way to get it done. And that 9th inning, wow, was it dicey. But Trey Sweeney with an incredible catch, crashing into the Riley Greene. Hope he's okay and everything. But Reese Olson started this game, went 3 innings, gave up just a 1 earned run, but kind of easing him back, 3 strikeouts. Herter gave up the 5 hits and the 1 earned run. Will Vest, just an inning, and gave up the 1 hit. Gunther goes 2 innings, and Foley is where it all went array. Didn't get an out in that 9th inning. gives up. I mean, just unfortunate. You saw it happening. And again, you're watching the Michigan game, you're watching the Tigers game, and it was just like almost a nightmare unfolding where it's 4-2 Tigers going into that ninth inning. And the Orioles, I mean, they're a good team. We know that. We've talked about that. But you look at the scoring plays of that ninth inning, and it felt like, okay, the way this ninth inning started, it was a survival mission to even get out of that ninth inning, even with the 2-run lead entering the ninth inning. But it was just a single to begin, and then a single. Once again, you got 2 on, and then a walk, bases loaded, nobody out, and Henderson doubles. And for only 2 runs to score there, you're feeling like, okay, deep breaths. It's still bases loaded, nobody out in a 4-4 game. You're like, what is happening? Beau Brieske comes in, gets the ground ball. You get the pop out to shortstop, and then Cowser flies out to center field. And it just, again, it almost felt like this game was, you never feel like you've won the game, but you feel like, all right, you're up 2 in the ninth. Let's just get those final 3 outs. It doesn't work out that way. And then with the bases low and nobody out, you think there's no chance this Tigers team wins. And then the 10th inning comes along. And again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Hate the runner on second to begin the 10th inning. If you want to do it in the 13th inning or something way later, sure. But Riley Greene gets the single right away. And especially when you're the road team, I feel like starting that extra innings, yes, you got to get the 1 run, but it feels like 1 run is the bare minimum. So to start that inning with the single from Riley Greene, Matt Vierling scores, and then Jace Young, how about that? The double sends Riley Greene to third, and McKinstry gets the sacrifice fly for that additional insurance run. And then Beau Brieske had the hot hand, ride him in the 10th inning. He gets the ground out, and Cowser gets the third. That is what it is. But again, with that 2-run cushion, you feel like that run is just, that run is not there. That run means nothing. Soto walks, you get the strikeout, and then you get the ground out to second. You got to love that. And all is well that ends well with a 6. At this point, I don't even, it's not that I don't care about how bad it went for Foley in the 9th, because we've talked about how good he's been, how good this Tigers bullpen has been. But it was just again, it's a survival mission with the final 7 games of the season. Let's just figure out a way to win. You don't have to draw a picture in the win-loss column. It's just either a W or an L, and it was a win for the Tigers this afternoon on the road at Camden Yards. So welcome one. Going to try and welcome all. Going to try and catch my breath here. We'll get to some of the comments because I know a lot of people want to get in. We had our Locked On Wolverines postcast. Now we have our Locked On Tigers postcast. Jason Walker leads us off. Beau Brieske is a dog, and I love him. He had that dog in him. And I go back to, I don't know why his outing in Oakland against the Athletics just stood out to me. It was because he couldn't find the landing spot. Remember, he walked those guys and it just was ugly. And then he just showed he can just mow everybody down when he's at his best. And I think with bases loaded, nobody out in a tie game in the 9th, a home team batting, you just, Beau, do your thing, man. We ride with you, brother. And that's what it was. Oh, man. YouTube user points out some things. Yes, it's not pretty. In September, if the way the Tigers are, what does that make them? 19-9 in their last something like that. So at the bigger picture, they've been playing great baseball, but I agree. YouTube user here, Tigers striking out too much, but still finding a way to win games, keep working and moving forward. Got to get that series double or series win tomorrow. I said double because I started reading Maritime Adams' comment. Shout out Maritime Adam. He was with us on the Locked On Wolverines postcast, now on the Locked On Tigers postcast. Dingler definitely had one of the best at-bats I've seen, 11 pitches to a walk. His discipline has not been good this year, so it's nice to see an improvement. Absolutely. And when you include that, I know, especially in an extra inning game, sometimes we forget some of those plays that happened early in the game, but top of the second, he gets that triple that puts the Tigers up 2-0. And again, there's a lot of plays, and I'm guilty of this too. You watch a game and you just want to talk about what happens at the end, but those are big plays as well with the 2-run triple in the top of the second. Adam with another one here. Surprised to see Foley implode. He rarely does, to be fair. It was Gunnar Henderson, but at least Brieske shut the door. Yeah, this Oriole team they're not going to quit, just like the Tigers. And I think it goes without saying that everybody just like it's such a survive and advance approach. And so I don't want to beat that horse to death, but they're really good teams right now. And September, that's what September baseball, you're going to be playing the best. And that the opposition 1 through 9 has guys that can hurt you. And I think that's exactly what we saw there. All right. Soul Blaster 59. My heart breaks a little for Foley giving up 2 runs, but thank the baseball gods for Beau Brieske. What a save. Yeah, but I think Foley will be back. He's resilient. I don't think we have to get down too much. And yes, it certainly is going to be in the back of AJ Hinch's mind. Is that the guy you turn to in the 9th in crunch time with the potential implosion like we saw today? Or is it a Tyler Holden? Is it a Beau Brieske? AJ Hinch has proven that he is not afraid to shuffle the deck as it comes to who his and he never even says closer. Is that still a thing we say, our 9th inning guy? That it is. All right, Larry, Dana, David here. These young Tigers can hang with anyone. AJ's handling of the bullpen is frustrating. Yeah, that's where I was getting it. We had some of that yesterday, and I don't want to look too far into yesterday because we all agreed it was a game on Apple TV. It shouldn't even count. We're just turning the page to today, and you go out and you get the win. That's what today was about. But I thought there was some questionable and who I don't know. I've worked with a lot of people that take the who are we to question AJ Hinch. He's the manager and he's with this team. He knows the right buttons to push, the right way to manage the bullpen. I can subscribe to that to a point, especially with how good the Tigers have been. They've been the best team in baseball. And so, yeah, when you play 162 games, there's going to be games that things happen and you question, what are we doing here? But in a larger sample, I think AJ Hinch has been really, really good. Okay. I've been blabbering. That's when the Tigers win in extra innings in a playoff chase and the Twins are idle, so you gain a half game. That's what's going to happen. But we got a lot more to get into. Rubber match tomorrow. That way the Tigers can get this series win. Don't go anywhere. We are just getting started on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Robinhood Gold. That's right. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 5% APY on uninvested cash and receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. How about that? Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. All right, more comments to get to on a live Locked On Tigers postcast after a thrilling 6-4 win in extra innings. Beau Brieske and Trey Sweeney, too, that catch in the 9th. My goodness, those are the two MVPs on the defensive side of things. And offensively, when you look at the box score, you're going to see the 2 RBI for Dillon Dingler early in the game. You'll love to see that. That was big for the Tigers. Zach McKinstry had the sac fly. That was good. And then the Riley Greene single in extra innings. Obviously, that was huge as well. Jake Rogers with an RBI. And you go, it was, again, it takes a total team effort. The Tigers in the 8th inning to go ahead with the Jake Rogers single that scored Matt Vierling, and then Colt Keith to get the sac fly to make it 4-2. And we know that the insurance runs are nice, but Baltimore comes right back in the bottom of the 9th. And in the extra innings, it's Riley Greene scoring Matt Vierling and Zach McKinstry with the sac fly to extend it to 6-4. So I say all that, and I want to get back to some of these comments because my goodness, this is what it's all about. It's a September postseason run, the hottest team in baseball, the best story in baseball for sure in the American League, the Detroit Tigers. Tiger Town with a let's go. YouTube user says Riley Greene looking more comfortable in the big leagues. I think since he came back from the injury in the second half of the season, he's just been fantastic. Such a crucial win. Absolutely it is. Trey Sweeney saved the game. This kid has grit. That's what we love. We love it. And it felt like kind of a backyard baseball feel. I don't know why. It just, maybe it was the weather, whatever it was. The Orioles in their bright orange uniforms, Tigers in their gray uniforms. And I put that on the thumbnail with Vierling sliding head first at home. It just felt like a gritty game. This is funny here from Matt Wood in the 9th and 10th. The crowd chanting "Let's go!" Sounded like "Let's go, Beau." Maybe that was pumping Brieske up. I think when you're a big league pitcher and the magnitude of the game and the stakes are as high as they were, you don't necessarily need to quote unquote get pumped up, but it certainly was great to see Beau Brieske. And what's also neat about this entire run is just how it's galvanized this entire team and the excitement that they share, the wins together. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I hate to even start thinking. I'm not thinking about next year. I'm just like Scott Harris. I'm only thinking about this year. And I think we can all agree, if you watch this program each and every night, you know how all in we are on this Tigers team. But it's okay to take a step back and be excited about the core, because how many times did we hear the core? But it truly has been formed. And I felt this way on the trade deadline too. Even though we were saying goodbye to some pieces, I felt like the core was still intact. And as a whole, this Tigers team is a lot to be excited about in 2025. And boy, has that feeling been enhanced, magnified, whatever you want to call it, to the 100th percentile, whatever it may be. It's just really, really good to be a Tigers fan right now. And I know I share that excitement with each and every person on the stream right now, which is what makes it such a fun ride. All right, we are going to look ahead to tomorrow. A couple more comments right here. Sweeney game saver #1. We got Nate Werner in here. Brieske turning into a reliable high leverage guy at just the right time. I wanted Holton, but I was proven very wrong. Yeah, Brieske was the guy to get out of that bases loaded jam. Top of the hour with Corey Leland. Another miracle win in a miraculous season. Completely agree. Maritime Adam also really loving the fight this team is scoring to. Losing the 2-run lead, then scoring them right back. Would have not seen that the last couple of years. I agree. I think it's a mentality thing. I think it's a resilience thing, things that are being done by this young core that we talk about. Rufus El Gato de Baseball. When BB Beau Brieske is good, he is good. Exactly. That ceiling. He can do some crazy things with that baseball from a pitcher's perspective. Last comment here, the benefit actually of them hopefully making the playoffs is at least these young guys can get playoff postseason experience, which they can carry into next season. Yeah, I want to take, that's a good point. I want to take the why not us approach, because look at the last couple. The Diamondbacks last year, there's plenty of instances where teams, I don't want to say snuck into a playoff spot, but certainly got hot at the right time and made a mad dash, a mad ambush into the playoffs, like if the Tigers make it, exactly how they would be, that have gone on to go to the World Series, to win the World Series. The 2011 Cardinals are an example of that. There's lots of teams, and baseball is such a marathon sport that the postseason is unique, because I think in basketball and football and hockey, there's always the unpredictable nature. Hockey, there's a lot of parity, but you kind of feel like you know what's going to happen. And listening to some of the national guys cover baseball, it really does feel like this postseason is just so wide open. It's anybody's game. You just got to get in. And with 7 games left in the season, the Tigers are a half game back. I know the Twins have the tiebreaker, but we just got to be better than the Minnesota Twins. They were off today after the rainout. So, all right, we'll take one more break. Don't go anywhere. We'll look ahead to tomorrow. That's next on the live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by eBay. eBay Motors. That's right, eBay Motors. You know the combination and what eBay Motors is all about. We're talking about passion. That's important. Drive, patience. That's the formula for winning championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. I think that's what the Detroit Tigers have going for them right now. Passion, drive, throwing a little gritty Tigers action in there as well. They've got a lot in common with eBay Motors. And speaking of eBay Motors, they've got everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. I'm talking superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. So whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. And with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Back with you on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Thanks for making us your post-game destination. And this is, I get it. I totally understand. But last night, I know it was a loss. It was a defeat, but nobody wanted to be on the stream. Now, we had some of our best shows in the history of Locked On Tigers postcast after the win over the Royals, the sweep over the Royals, I should say. And now we're back. I get it. We love when the Tigers win. And in a playoff chase, you want win, win, win. I want winners. The Mike Singletary quote, right? Or the Al Davis, just win, baby. And that's, I think that would explain the majority of our viewers here on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Now, lots more comments to get into. I don't think we've heard from Crayosis 93. They have a good chance of overtaking the Royals as well. Now, yeah, we'll keep our eye. The Royals are sputtering. And, I think there's a lot of people nervous in Kansas City, and why wouldn't there be? Because this Tigers team is certainly coming for them. So as of right now, the Tigers, as it relates to the Kansas City Royals, they're 82-73. Tigers are 81-74. So a game back of the Royals, half game back of the Twins, and 4.5 back from the Orioles. But I don't think there's a chance the Tigers overtake the Orioles, obviously, but the Royals, sure. I think either way they're playing Houston. So with that said, it's exciting to start to look ahead at what this Tigers team, what postseason baseball could mean in Detroit, and what this Tigers team has to look forward to. So now, probable pitchers for tomorrow. Tigers, of course, have not announced one. Albert Suarez for the Orioles. He's 8-6 with a 3.60 ERA. And for the Tigers, I don't know, I don't know who AJ Hinch will go with as his opener. Certainly some good options, but we know that this Tigers team finds a way with the opener in some unconventional ways. And again, that's what has made this ride so unbelievably memorable, unbelievably historic, incredible. And I know everybody's hoping that it just culminates with a postseason appearance. But it'll be fun to keep our eye on the doubleheader tomorrow with the Minnesota Twins and Boston Red Sox, because they were rained out today. And so the Tigers can get if the Tigers can get the win, and then the Twins, I mean, this is crazy, but let's say the Twins lose both. Now we're talking all kinds of stuff. The Tigers have overpassed them, and we're feeling like $1 million. That would be absolutely wild. Now, tomorrow we've also got a live Locked On Lions postcast. I hope everyone can join us for that. Lions in the desert taking on the Cardinals. And I'll tell you what, my brain is, trying to keep everything straight is just, I can't. So I appreciate everybody's patience in dealing with Locked On Wolverines brain, then Locked On Tigers postcast brain, tomorrow Locked On Lions postcast, and Locked On Tigers postcast. It's a lot, and it's all good stuff here on Locked On Detroit. So appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't yet, let's try to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. We can get there before the end of this baseball season. We are north of 900, which is great. Tigers get the win today. 6-4 in extra innings. It's Riley Greene's go-ahead RBI single that scored Matt Vierling in the top of the 10th. That is the game-winning run. McKinstry gets a sac fly to score Riley Greene, and that makes it 6-4. I think it's also worth pointing out in that 10th inning that with the insurance run added, albeit the Tigers didn't necessarily need it by the score, but it just gives you so much more confidence. And Jace Young deserves a lot of credit with that double that sent Riley Greene to third that allowed McKinstry to hit that sacrifice fly. So Tigers win it. The record is just crazy to say out loud. 81-74. They beat the Orioles 6-4 in 10 innings, and they can win the rubber match tomorrow. That would be huge. And boy, are we hoping that comes into fruition. So join us for a Locked On Tigers postcast tomorrow following the conclusion of the Tigers game. First pitch tomorrow is 1:35 Eastern time. So we'll be on the air following the conclusion of that one. My name is Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. It's been quite the day bringing you all the action. First with the Locked On Wolverines postcast after they beat USC 27-24 with the last second touchdown. Then the Tigers winning in extra innings over the Orioles 6-4. What a day for Locked On Sports Detroit. And we thank you for being a part of it. And as always, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time on Locked On Sports Detroit and the Locked On Tigers postcast.